Has the Lord forsaken Israel, or will he ever forsake, abandon, or destroy the nation of Israel? Well, in our family, we gave the Apostle Paul a nickname, and we call him Paul by no means. Because when he addresses this issue, he says, by no means, God will never forget Israel. God will never forsake her. And we also see this in Deuteronomy 4. In this chapter, Moses lays before Israel the blessings and the curses of the covenant. And by the end of this chapter, in verses 30 and 31, it's like if Moses could predict and foresee that Israel would disobey and bear the consequences of the curses. But it says that when those curses come upon them, and they're in distress, in the latter days, meaning in the end, in a time yet future for Moses and for that generation, in a time yet future for us and for our generation. And then the verse goes on to say, when you turn to the Lord, meaning that after their time of trouble and distress, Israel will turn to the Lord. It says when you turn to the Lord, not if you turn to the Lord. So when you turn to the Lord and obey his commandments, that the Lord will not forsake you, that the Lord will not destroy you, and the Lord will not forget the covenant that he made with your fathers. Yes, there's a conditional there, and the condition is when they obey. But it's not if they obey, it's when. Not because of their own good, but because the Lord is merciful, they will turn to the Lord. Now the Lord is merciful and he loves Israel. He makes it pretty clear throughout scriptures. He compares his relationship with Israel as a relationship of a father to a son, or of a mother to a son. And he also compares his relationship with Israel as a husband to a wife. So you don't abandon your son because he rebelled against you. If you're a loving father, what you do is you chasten your son so your son turns back to you. And this is what the Lord is saying here. When you are in distress, when you're bearing the consequences of your disobedience, because I am merciful, I will not abandon you. The prophet goes on to say that in those days, I will pour on you, on the house of Israel, a spirit of grace and supplication. So they will look at the one they have pierced, and they will turn their hearts to him. It's by his mercy. He's a merciful Father. He's a loving Father. He will never abandon Israel. He will never forsake them. He will never destroy them, for he loves them. So I invite you to join with me and my family in this kind of prayer, that the Lord would pour a measure of that spirit of grace and supplication that he promised to pour, and that many in Israel and many Jews around the world would have eyes to see the one they have pierced and have their hearts turned to him, to obey him, and to follow their Jewish Messiah. So until that day, when all Israel will be saved, Maranatha.